Beautiful day out here in Lincoln County. You already know how we do. Let's get right into it. We're going to go to Romans 12:2 again. Do not be conformed by the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. I spoke a little bit about this verse on the last video, and I wanted to go more in depth because I've been meditating on it. I've been sitting on it. I discussed it with my brothers at our Mensbiblestudy out here every Thursday. If you ever want to join us in Ruidoso, I'll send you the location. And pretty much I got a lot of ideas from them that I wanted to share with you today, because this is actually one of the most important verses in the Bible, I believe. And it was written by Paul. And when he wrote this particular verse, he was talking to Christians that lived in Rome. And, you know, when you think about Rome, think about the movies that we watch and just what Rome signifies and what it stands for. When it comes to Rome, think about the Colosseum. Think about corruption. Think about power. Think about money. Think about lust, debauchery, degeneracy. Anything bad and worldly that you could think about was what Rome was about. And this is what actually brought their downfall. You know, they were able to conquer the world and do so much. But by the same token, when a country's going through a phase of success, this is when the nation becomes weak. And this is what will bring down a nation. They were all about status. They were all about stealing from the people. I don't know who, but one of these politicians said, give them circus and bread, I believe. I think that's a saying. But it was just a very worldly society. And this is exactly what Paul spoke about. Do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, to those particular patterns, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. To focus on your Bible, to focus on Christ, to focus on God. Do not worry about what people here on earth think about you, about what you're doing here on earth, about gaining trophies and victories here on earth, but focus on what God thinks about you. Focus not on what the people, or getting likes from the people, getting liked by the people, trying to impress the people, but focus on trying to impress Him and getting likes by Him and trying to please Him. And when it comes to that renewal of the mind, it's definitely easier said than done. It's not something that happens from one day to another. On the contrary, matter of fact, when Paul wrote this, the word transformation, it comes from metamorphosis in Greek. And this particular word, think of a metamorphosis. This is what happens with a caterpillar and a butterfly. It makes a complete change of who it was. And this is exactly the path that we as Christian men and women need to strive for. And this transformation, again, it's not from one day to another, but it's definitely a renewal of the mind on the daily. It's something that we have to do daily. And me too, like I have to do it too. I'm in the flesh as much as the next man. and I have to consistently go to war with my thoughts, man, because the enemy doesn't even have to really mess up our lives, man. All he has to do is conquer the mind, which is something that Paul understood, which is the power of the mind. That this is where it all starts, up here. And that if the enemy could gain a hold of that, we're already done. By planting seeds of doubt, fear, envy, jealousy, everything that's the opposite of the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit talks about self-control, about patience, about joy, about peace. And this takes work to accomplish these things in our mind. That just today, you already see what type of day it is. And I'm driving and somebody's like right behind me, tailing me, and I start getting mad, and this is our instinct, to pop off and to get angry. But then again, a renewal of the mind requires being patient, being understanding. Like, look at the weather. Like, perhaps it's somebody that's not even used to this type of weather. So chill out. Give people. Do not be so harsh on your fellow brother or your sister, on your friends, on your wife, on your husband. And the same world and things that people spoke against, that Paul spoke against, it's the same things that we're going through in 2026. Think of the United States as a modern day Rome. We are the rulers of the world. And we are going through a phase of success. And this is probably going to be the beginning of our downfall, man, when it's all said and done. Like, there's history books written on this. And one of the homies, he mentioned how all these people out here in modern day life in 2026, they think they're so special. And they're so they're so rare. But in reality, when you look at people that don't follow Christ, that don't follow and don't stick to the script of the Bible, they really all do have the hive mind mentality. They're all doing the same old things. They all have the same degenerate habits. They're all getting high. They're all party animals. They're all getting drunk. They all cuss. They're all prideful. They're all mad. They're watching the same TV shows. They all dress the same. They're all addicted to pornography. They all cheat on their wives. They're all lustful. They're all just in the flesh, which again, this is the easy thing to do. It requires a renewal of the mind and transformation of the mind to achieve and to success a Christian mindset and to not conform to the patterns of the world. That all these people, they're miserable when it's all said and done. And the reason I know this is because not too long ago, I was on the same boat. I was in the flesh. I was the worst. I listened to the same hip-hop degenerate music that everybody loves so much. I partied more than anybody. I was lustful. I was a cheat. I was a lie. I was all these things. And it requires having that North Star, Him, our Bible, and it requires that transformation, and it requires daily practice and focus. Of course, like, we're all men, like, we're walking this and that. You see a beautiful woman, what's that natural instinct? To look, to stay looking, whatever. But then you gotta snap out of it. Like, this is what I do, now. Like, back in the days, boom, just entertain all this lust. But now, boom, snap out of it, keep it moving. Keep it moving. And that's just another example of that transformation, that daily transformation that we have to go through. And it definitely requires a lot of effort, a lot of work, and you gotta stick to it, man. But I think that with the guys that I do study with, like, this is like all disciplined men. We all work out, we all gym. So I think that through His grace, of course, this is why we make decent Christians. Because me, like, I'm all in or nothing. I'm all in or nothing type of individual. So that same weakness that's in the flesh will make you could turn it into strength as a Christian by going all in and staying focused and staying disciplined. And this is why I go so hard for Him, and this is why I take this so serious, man. Because if we're not gonna go all in, why do it, man? I hope this makes sense. Beautiful day out here in Lincoln County. You already know how we do. Hit that like, subscribe, comment. I hope this video makes sense. God bless. Stay strong. Talk to you soon.